guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm here to film a little bit of a different video than I usually do. I decided I just wanted to branch out a little bit and just talk about things that affect me and things that I want to share with you guys, because I know a lot of you are probably in similar situations. So sometimes it helps to just have someone there to tell you, listen, how you're feeling is okay, here's how to get through it. So that's this type of video. As you probably already can tell by the title, this is basically a how to survive, and not only survive but do well on your finals type video. I know a lot of you guys are in school, some of you guys are younger, so the extent of your exams might be different, they might not be right now. This video is being pre-filmed a little bit, but while you're watching this video, I do know that I have a final on the day that you're watching this video. This will probably go up a few hours before my final. My final's at night, which I hate, by the way. 7 to 10, my brain is fried at that point. Like, I probably would get 10% more if I had an exam in the morning than when I do at night. Anyways, that being said, send me all of your positive thinking when you watch this video, because I will probably be needing it. So for those of you who are in college and university, this is the time that is most stressful of this semester, finals times. Midterms is pretty hectic as well, but finals is like a whole new ballgame. You are very tight in time, you don't have much time to prepare usually, you usually have to prepare for a lot of things at once, and it's like a race to the end. So here's how I help myself stay focused, stay organized, and ultimately do as well as I possibly can. I wrote some notes down here if you're wondering what I'm looking at. I have a before, a during, and an after. So before. Basically, before is all about planning and preparing. If you follow a good plan, it's, to me at least, it's key to like everything. I know for me, if I don't have a plan, if I don't prepare, if I don't organize how I'm going to study, when I'm going to study, I get really stressed out, and that's when things start to become chaotic and fall apart. So my best tips to you are, first off, planning your time wisely. So like I said, planning when you want to study, when you can study, what you're going to study, just making kind of a general guideline of what to follow will really help relieve your stress. If you really plan it out, you look what days you have what, like when you work, when you're uploading videos, which if you have a YouTube channel, I would definitely recommend pre-filming videos for during this time, because you don't want to have to worry about this. It can be a really, really crazy time, and you really need to focus all your energy on school. So pre-film video if you're a YouTuber, but if not, just work around whatever else you have going on in your life and make sure that you count time in for that, but that you definitely plan around it, and studying has to become the focal point. And at least if you have a general plan of like when and what you want to study and do, you can follow that, and it really helps to comfort you in saying like, yes, I have enough time. You see, I have it right here. I planned it out. I'm gonna be okay as long as I stick as much as possible to what I planned out. So kind of like what I touched on already, get everything else out of the way. So pre-film YouTube, or if you didn't have time, then just don't worry about YouTube if you have a YouTube channel, or whatever else you're doing. School has to be the priority, it has to be most important. Make sure, ahead of time, you warn your boss, this is when my exams are, I need some time off. So it's a crucial time on preparing your notes, your PowerPoints, your books, whatever you're going to be using. Last thing you want to do is, when you only have like 4 days to study for a final, you don't want to start preparing your notes and start planning like what you're going to study. That should already be done. Prepare my notes. So if I fell behind on certain chapters, I am, making some notes for each chapter, which is kind of like a way to pre-study. So it prepares you. So it's really good. Go through your book, highlight anything that you think you missed, that you need clarification on, that you want to go over, that you want to add to your notes. Go over your PowerPoints, make sure you have everything that you need just to be prepared in your studying, because that can take a lot of time in and of itself, and you don't want it to cut in to your actual study, understanding, practicing, memorizing time. When it comes to studying, don't start too early and don't start too late. By that I mean, if you start too early, if you start an entire month and a half before your finals to like memorize and stuff like that, especially for the memorizing exams, those that are more practical, then yeah, you're gonna have built like on itself throughout the semester. But the memorizing exams, like that you need to know a lot of things by heart, don't start too early, because there's honestly no point. I know it sounds bad. Maybe if you want to feel like you're doing something, just go over your notes, read them to make sure you understand the main concepts, but I wouldn't start memorizing too early, because in the end, you're just gonna have to do it all over again. More importantly, don't start too late. Now, I know There's so much going on at the end of the semester. You have to give in all your projects, all your papers, all your assignments, and you have your finals on top of it, and you're exhausted. Before finals even start, you're dead from the semester, and you have to find it within you to push past it and get through that last month. And although it can be really, really difficult, it's really, really important that you, like I said, plan and organize your time well and maximize whatever time you have, because every minute counts at that point. So try as much as you can not to start too last minute. If you've planned out your time well and, like I said, you're finished things that you could finish a little bit earlier, that will really, really help you out in not starting too late. Before your studying starts for finals, I would advise, I know this sounds really stupid, but like it actually really, really helps me when I do this, to get motivated. Plan a list of things of fun things that you're gonna do and that you wanna do after finals are over. This is kind of in your planning stage and it sounds silly, but it really helps to like see, you know what? There is something to look forward to after I'm done with this. This will be my reward type thing. That really helps me. I don't know if it's going to be the same for everyone, but whatever works for you, if something really motivates you in general or you're working towards something, then focus your energy on that and keep that in mind as like the bigger picture, that's where you're headed, and it's going to be really great once you're done to be able to do whatever that is. So during, that is obviously the studying part. Studying sometimes is harder than doing the actual exam because you're freaking yourself out and you're like overthinking everything and you have to memorize all this stuff and practice this and deal with concepts that you don't really fully understand, and you're on a time crunch to get it. So it can be extremely overwhelming to study. Sometimes, like I said, more than the actual exam. At this point, you have to, like I said, set everything else aside and focus on studying. Studying becomes your life. It's all you do. It's all you think about. It's what you dream about. I know it sucks to have to do 12-hour, 14-hour study days like straight, you know? But it's really, really important. And in the moment, you always feel like this, I can't do it anymore. I'm just done. Like, I just can't do anything more. Then you get to the end and you're like, I could have done more. I could have pushed a little bit harder. Everyone feels like that in the moment. It's completely valid, and you can't push yourself to the point where you're going to completely lose it and burn yourself out for all your other exams. So just focus on studying and be as productive as you can with the amount of time you have to study, so that you don't like overdo it and wear yourself out. Like I said, stick to your study schedule. That is extremely important. It's really going to comfort you in knowing that you're following a plan, and if you follow the plan, you will reach the end eventually. I would say make to-do lists every day and cross the things off that you've done, even if it's tiny little things like fill out course evaluation, because a lot of us have to do that, and it's going to take you 2 minutes to do that. Put it on your list and cross it off when you're done. It's going to help you feel accomplished and motivated and like you're getting stuff done and you're getting closer to the end. I find making lists really helps keep me motivated and shows me that I'm getting somewhere with what I'm doing. Take breaks if you need them. But what I would say with this, I have a hard time taking breaks. I'm someone that's better off studying straight through and let's say like, you know, taking the evening off or something, than taking multiple breaks, because I never feel, I have a really hard time getting back to studying after I've taken a break. That's just the way I am, but that's different for everyone. So if you're someone who works better at having taken little breaks, I would say the key to that is to set specific times. Don't just say, oh, I'm going to take a break now, you know, because then you're never going to get back to it, or you're going to like waste too much time. I would say, okay, I allow myself to watch a 10-minute YouTube video. That's going to be my break. If you want a little bit of a longer break, you're going to be like, I'm going to have lunch for 20 minutes and watch my favorite episode of something for 20 minutes, and then I'm going to get back to it. Set a specific time frame of when you're stopping, when you're starting, and reward yourself. If let's say after you finish a chapter, you want to have a chocolate, or you are going to, I don't know, you're going to do your makeup for the day or whatever. Just find things that motivate you and reward yourself with them after you've accomplished something, like you've gone through half of what you wanted to study or one chapter or whatever. It's just a good way of keeping yourself on track and, you know, giving yourself little incentives here and there to really push through and keep going. Really important thing, especially for me and anyone who kind of has anxiety around school and is a very anxious person, I would say that you need to do something else before bed. For me, any kind of anxiety that I have comes out in my sleep most of the time. I have a lot of nightmares. I sleep talk, I sleepwalk, I scream in my sleep. The poor people that live with me, like, I'm an intense sleeper. But yeah, so I would say really, really important to get your mind off of it before you go to bed, because I tend to have nightmares about like numbers exams. I remember last semester, my statistics exam, and I just felt this panicking feeling, and all I could see were numbers and numbers and numbers, and I was trying to solve equations and nothing was working, and there was no way to solve anything, and it was like an impossible numbers dream. And it was terrifying, and I like got up in like this huge sweat, and I was panicking and freaking out. And when you overdo it, that's what tends to happen. That being said, it's kind of hard to not do that when you're in finals, so it is normal, just keep in mind. But I would recommend to like minimize that as much as possible, to do something else before bed, whether that's watch your favorite TV show. For me, it's always to watch the Shade Tards daily video, because it makes me happy, it makes me smile, and it really just calms me down before I go to bed. I have happy thoughts, which sounds really pathetic, but that's the truth. You know, a bath could work for you, doing a face mask, painting your nails, just do something else to get your mind off of what you've been doing right before you go to bed. Also, something that I found to be really, really helpful for me lately is to journal about your worries, about your anxiety surrounding an exam, surrounding school, or whatever you're feeling. So writing it down, let's say you're laying in your bed and you have a million thoughts going through your mind and you just can't sleep. Usually talking to someone in that moment would really help calm you down, and then you'd be able to go to sleep. But usually at that point it's the middle of the night and there's no one to talk to. I found that just keeping like a journal or a piece of paper right next to my bed and just jotting down whatever it is that's going through my mind, it calms me down 100,000,000%. Like, when I write things down after, I feel completely relieved, and I manage usually to fall asleep and to stay asleep, and it really, really helps me. Even some people do this after they've had nightmares. It's hard to go back to sleep right away without falling back into the nightmare. Take a moment, just jot down whatever it is. Getting it out of your system can really, really help to calm you down and get you through to the next morning, still being able to get some sort of rest, because you need that. It is important to get some sleep at this point, because you need to be rested enough to be able to concentrate and write these exams. Focus on after. It can be really, really hard to see the bigger picture when you're so caught up in finals and the stress and the exams and the studying. It can be really hard to see the bigger picture and to see that it will end eventually. So I'm going to say just focus on after, and on realizing, like, keep the things that you've crossed out, all the lists that you've done, to show yourself how far you've come and how little you have left. Even though it seems like a giant mountain that'll never, like, you'll never reach the top, you will, and you'll get to the other side and things will be good. But just, you have to, like, remind yourself of that, because it can be really hard when you're caught up in it to, like I said, see the bigger picture. Another thing is just don't give up. Work as hard as you can. I know it's so easy, like I said, at the end you're so tired and you're so over it and you just need a break and you're ready to just say, you know what, screw it. But you will regret it after if you don't give it your 100%. It's really worth it in the end. You're going to be happy with yourself, and you're going to, you know, once it's over, you kind of forget how intense it was and you're like, I could have done better. So just try your best to keep going, give it your all, and you will reach the end, and you're going to be satisfied and know that you did the best that you could. After, yay, you finally survived, it's over. You're free, basically. So being free is the best feeling in the world. It can be a little bittersweet at first, because if your exams didn't go well, or suddenly you realize you have nothing in the world to do, which to me is an amazing feeling, to some they kind of feel overwhelmed by that, you're finally free, and this is the moment that you've been working towards for so long. So enjoy every second. One thing that I think is important is let it go. Don't dwell on any exams that you may have found difficult or that you're struggling with. I mean, of course, there's always going to be, until you have all your final grades, there's going to be a part of you that's really worried on compulsively checking your grades to see if it's been uploaded. Believe me, I'm so guilty of it. But, I mean, once it's over, once you've written that last exam, you've handed it in, there's nothing you can change. Whatever the outcome is, it's going to be that way no matter what. So you kind of just have to let it go as much as possible and try and enjoy every moment that you have between the time you're done and the time you know your final grades, because there's nothing you can change. It is what it is, and obsessing over it and freaking out, as much as it's like so easy to do, it's not really going to change anything. So you have to try as much as possible to put it aside. The same tips apply. I would say do things to distract yourself and journal about it if you're really struggling to let go a little bit and enjoy, you know, your summer. Sleep. Anyone who's been through this would know that that's the first thing that you want to do and catch up on is sleep. So sleep as much as you want. You know, I always give myself like a week after finals to just sleep, shower, because it's much needed, and relax. Like, do whatever you want to do. If you want to do absolutely nothing, which is usually what I end up doing, and I think a lot of people, then do absolutely nothing. Like, you deserve it. You've worked so hard. Let yourself be lazy and relax and enjoy yourself, whatever that may be. Reward yourself. You worked so hard, you deserve it. Once you're past the being lazy, doing nothing stage, you know, reward yourself, go shopping, go out to eat, get your nails done, do something that makes you happy that you don't usually do. Just treat yourself a little bit because you deserve it. You worked so hard, and it's just like a fun reward. And do what you love, and by that I mean you're finally free to do whatever it is that you like to do. You know, sometimes during the year you're so caught up, or during the semester you're so caught up in doing, you know, schoolwork and work and all these other responsibilities that you have, that you kind of neglect and you push aside what you love to do, whether that's just playing around with makeup for fun and not even filming it and putting it on YouTube in my case, or, you know, arts or painting or scrapbooking or, you know, sports or whatever it may be that you may have neglected. Get back into it. You're finally free to do it. Enjoy it. Be yourself again. Be creative. This is the time for you to really express yourself and enjoy yourself, because, you know, those times become more and more limited as we get older, so it's important to take the time and set aside some time to do those things, and unfortunately those are usually the things that get cut down in our lives, but now you're finally free to do it, so go ahead and enjoy yourself. You don't have to feel guilty about doing it, just enjoy. Like I said before, try to keep checking grades as to a limited time, you know, whether that be once or twice a day, not 10 times an hour like sometimes, you know, I will do. It's definitely going to be hard at first, but it's also going to help you feel a lot more sane and, you know, not as obsessive over it. When you finally do get your grades back, good or bad, accept it. It's okay. You know, whether you did amazing, then congratulations, great job, be happy, be excited, celebrate, because you deserve to. And if it's not so great, know that you really put in as much effort as you could and you did the best that you could. So if the outcome isn't what you want, it can hurt and it can be really hard to accept, but you're going to have to accept it and move on. And don't let it ruin your entire break or your entire summer, because it's not worth it. There will be times in your life where you fail and where you know, struggle to get by, and you need to be able to accept it and do something about it. So just tell yourself, I'm going to do it again and I'm going to do better. I have no choice at this point, that it is what it is, and I'm not going to let it define me, and I'm not going to let it ruin this time that I finally have to enjoy it for myself. So that's it, guys, for this video. I know it was really different than what I usually do. Might have been a little cheesy, but sometimes when you're caught up in the moment of exams, it can be so stressful that I thought it would just be good that someone reminds you that it is important to take care of yourself and to keep the bigger picture in mind. You guys will get through it, and I'm sure you're all going to do great. Just think, I am in the exact same boat as all of you who are still in school right now and struggling to get to the end. We will get there, and those of you who are a little bit younger and don't finish school right away, or you might not relate to everything that I said because, you know, throughout your journey at school things change. Keep this in mind. These tips can be helpful for a lot of different scenarios in your life and in your school career. So that was just my take on it. I really hope it helped someone, and if you enjoyed it, or if you have additional tips that I maybe forgot to mention or that worked for you that might not work for me, definitely leave them in the comments down below, because not everyone's going to be like me, and although you may benefit from some of the tips, it can also be really helpful to interact in the comments down below and help each other out, because we're all in this together at the end of the day. We can all relate, and that's really what matters, that we're helping each other out, and we will get to summer. It's coming. I believe it will happen one day. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and you can also share it on your social media. Maybe help someone out that is struggling to get through the end of school. It can be hard on a lot of people, but we're gonna get there. I promise we're gonna get there. Alright guys, see you in my next video. Bye.